Hey, what up, family? What's going on this time from No Picks Podcast?
It's Joe. No Picks Podcast was good, fam.
All right, so today we have a clip from TikTok. Obviously, we've been grabbing a lot of clips from TikTok, so hopefully that's okay with TikTok. But uh, so we have a female today that is talking about the excessive privilege of women and at the expense of men. All right, so we're gonna play the clip and we're gonna have a conversation about it. All right.
All right, let's see.
Feminism is killing this country.
Can you be more specific?
Feminism has taught us to hate men and to fear men because capital profits off of my fear as a woman. If I'm afraid of men, they can make a profit off of that. There's a gender war because men are the underdogs right now. Men are the ones being told you're feared, you're wrong, everything you do is wrong. Go make money, don't show emotion, BBB. Women are making a rise to the top. We've over-feminized so much and included women so much, which is great. But we don't have to tear men down to include women.
So why is there so much talk about male privilege?
Because for a long time there was male privilege, and now the script is flipped. Now women are the ones with privilege, but no one's ready to hear that.
But why are we still talking about male privilege?
Because no one's ready for it. We're not ready to make that change. We're seeing more women in films, more women in power. The amount of jobs that I have seen that say women only is ridiculous.
Wow,
Interesting.
bro's cooking.
So, right. So, so my question to you is, my question to you is, does she have a point?
Yes, damn it. So I thought it was the dude at first, so I apologize to Shorty. I was like, yo, bro's spitting facts. But yes, he does have a point. And I appreciate that she's so honest about it. And I appreciate that she takes accountability because she said people aren't ready to talk about the fact that women have all this privilege now. We're not gonna talk about that. We don't want
Right.
to talk about that, right? But I think she does have a point. And I love the fact that she acknowledged that at one point men did have it. We did have a lot of privilege that was
Right.
granted to us, and then things have now changed. The script has flipped, and now shorties have the privilege, and now men ain't shit, and we're kind of struggling or just falling behind because of that. So my first reaction was, I'm so thankful that she said it. When it comes from a woman, I think it's even more powerful. Um, so yes, off rip, I'm gonna say I agree with it. Did you agree with what she was saying?
I mean, listen, you're not gonna find me disagreeing in this situation. That's the funny part, right? So when I listened to what she said, right, the first thing I thought about was the Me Too movement, right? In particular, there was a specific situation. There was one of the founders of the Me Too movement. It wasn't Rose McGowan, right? Because she was one of them. It was another female. I forget her name, but whoever's watching this, I'm sure they probably know, right? She got caught up with a situation like 20 years ago where she was like messing with like it was a female actress, a white female actress, and she was messing with like a 16-year-old up and coming actor, and there was an interview that Rose McGowan was on. Because you remember Rose McGowan was the one, the short hair. She was an actress. I mean, she was a short hair chick, and she was big into Me Too. Like, we hate these men, f these men, blah blah blah. And the reporter asked a question about her colleague within the Me Too movement that was said to be rumored to be dealing with 16-year-olds back in the day, 20 years prior. And she says, well, you know what? Let's wait until all the facts come out before we judge her. Which obviously is the opposite of what you believe when it comes to when men are the plaintiff, with the defendant.
Right.
So I just thought it was the most outrageous thing in the world when I heard that.
Like, so believe all women, but not men.
So she like, whoa. I know my homegirl is brought up on some stuff, but let's get all the facts first.
Yeah.
But when it comes to women, we don't have to wait for all the facts. We can just believe her because she has ready-made tears. Yeah. And she's a soft, delicate creature. Of course she can never lie. Like what female could ever lie? Who the hell ever even thought of that concept? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, that's nah, bro. This is BS. So a quick story because sometimes I love when we share the stories because they get points across. But maybe I told you this, but years ago, like 2013, 2014, so almost 10 years ago, I was working at this nonprofit organization with a group of women. Amazing. My boss was amazing. My coworkers were great.
Right.
But one of them was one of those I'm pansexual, I'm this, I'm that, the piercings, the mohawk. She was a woman, of course, straight out of college, so super radicalized. Like one of those where you're just like, oh God, get away from me. Like I gotta work with you, but like
Right.
I don't want to talk to you. I can't stand your nut ass. So one time we were talking about with our students, we worked with high school students. We were in our office and we were talking to some kids about Young Thug. And we were talking about, this is when he came out with that album cover with the blue dress on. Remember when he had
Right.
like a blue dress on or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
So we were talking about that and we were talking about gender fluidity. And the point I was trying to make was like, listen, I don't care if you're a straight man. If you want to be straight and you identify as straight, fine, that's great. But when you start saying that you identify as a straight man, but then you're wearing purses and you're wearing dresses and you're wearing fishnet stockings and things that heterosexual men would not do, that's when I take issue because now you're blurring the lines of what it means to be a straight man. And I don't want those lines to be blurry because not everybody is gender fluid. You know what I mean? So that was my stance at the time. This was like almost 10 years ago where I'm like, listen, do what you want to do, but don't call yourself straight and then do stuff that's sus, that's zesty, that makes you look feminine. Like, please don't say this is what straight men do. That was my whole point. Don't blur the lines of what heterosexuality is for men. Don't do that, right?
Right.
Shorty was in the room, the pansexual chick, mad as hell, upset about the conversation. After the students left, she approached me. We tried to talk about it. She was mad. She was emotional. I started talking to her too. Now, at the time I was working, one of the chicks was my sister-in-law. Thank God she was in that same office. Because after we left that conversation with that woman, after the kids left, the next day she went to HR. She went to my boss and to HR to try to file a report on me that I made her feel uncomfortable, that I made her feel unsafe, that I was blocking the exit, that I was aggressive and physically intimidating her. Thank God, my only saving grace at that time, bro, was the fact that my sister-in-law was also in the office, who was a woman, of course, who was there during the exchange and told my boss, no, none of that happened. Like, no, none of that happened. Joe was respectful. Joe was
Right.
not being aggressive. Joe was not trying to physically intimidate her. He was not trying to block her from exiting. She had created this story in her mind and felt that it was true and tried to get me fired by it, bro. And for the rest of the year, and it was awkward because I still had to work with her, and
Right.
we didn't even talk. I was like, we're here because of some bullshit you created, and now our team dynamic is awkward because you made it awkward because you projected all your BS onto me and made it seem like I'm this threatening person when none of that happened. And the only way I was able to get off is because, like I said, my sister-in-law was in the room and saw the interaction, bro. That was my saving grace. If that had not been there, who knows where that would have went, bro. I probably could have gotten fired
Right.
because of something that I did not do. So no, we don't believe all women because some women manipulate that because they know that that's a belief out there. They will try to exploit that. Yeah, you got to believe me because I'm a woman. No, bro. I've been bitten in the ass by this Me Too
Right.
stuff, and I got saved, but I can't support it. I can't. It just sounds stupid in theory. Believe all women because
Right.
women aren't liars, women aren't manipulators, women aren't gaslighters, women aren't perpetual victims.
Just like men. We lie. We you know what I mean? We victim blame. We do all that stuff. We perpetuate. We do all types of stuff. So
Yeah,
no, there is no being in this world that's above reproach. Okay,
yeah,
like there's
right.
like let's stop it. Like you got to prove what the hell you say. But let me say what she said. Let me mention something that caught my ear.
Hmm.
She mentioned the fact that there are women only jobs. That's crazy. Imagine a job being posted for men only.
Right,
It would be on CNN. It would be on MSNBC. It would be
right,
on it would probably be on Fox because Fox probably be making fun of it. But
right.
it's like that's crazy. Like women only jobs. Women like it, I listen. I haven't applied for a job in bro. It was 2024 right now. I haven't applied for a job in 14 years.
Right.
So I can't speak to what it says in the fine print, right? When people apply
Yeah.
for jobs. But bro, if there's a job on a website and it says women only, y'all shouldn't complain if jobs say men only.
Right. Keep the same energy.
But no. They don't want to be equal, bro. Like they don't want to be
They
equal.
don't
They
want to be
don't.
equal.
Like
Right.
we talked about this on several different pods before. They
Right.
want to be equal when it comes to being politicians, when it comes to being CEOs, when it comes to being executives, when it comes to being, wearing red bottoms in a fancy company somewhere. they don't want to be equal when it comes to getting crabs on a goddamn in Alaska on a boat. They don't
or an
want
oil rigger, or a plumber, or people who walk around picking up the trash in the
they don't want that shit. They don't
neighborhoods,
want that shit.
construction workers, people who go up in the skyscrapers and be on them, swinging on a little freaking steel pillar and like thousands of feet in the air. Like, they're
They don't
not
want
going to
that
sign
shit.
up for
They
those
don't want
jobs.
those jobs, bro. They don't want those jobs.
Right. They don't want those jobs. Yeah. So yes. So yeah, bro. We have talked about this a lot, which is why I knew this was going to stand out. But like, yeah, I think you know what's funny. I think that it's finally turning around though, because as much as they try to say that women are empowered, women are doing this, women are doing that, the studies still show men still on average are making more.
Making more. Yeah.
Women are the most enrolled, but that's for black women. That's not an all women statistic, but bro, they have some gains, but they're not killing it the way that they think that they're killing it. And the thing is, because men are waking up and seeing what feminism is doing to some of these women, all we have to do is just wait and rock out. Like,
Let me
that's
say
right.
this. They're killing it with the social media game. Because women are more involved in social media than men. Now there are plenty of men that go hard with social media, be like, oh, look at me, I'm eating this fancy shrimp here, take this picture. But I mean, studies show that women are far more engaged in social media than men.
And it affects them more negatively than it does to men too. Same thing in our young girls. Our young girls are affected more negatively by social media than our young boys. Not to say that boys aren't, but I'm just saying it hits women so much harder. You know, it really does.
The deletion rate with men is far higher than women, but no women group want to talk about that. There's dudes that get divorced, don't see their kids, take all their money taken away, and delete themselves from a bridge.
Right.
And that's just written off. Like, okay, cool. Let's pretend those people don't exist because it doesn't fit that narrative. Now, if a woman did that, if that happened, when Halle Berry and Mary J. Blige started paying alimony to their exes, everybody knew because all the women were like, "You goddamn, you ain't even a real man."
Adele had to pay child support, alimony, all that money they had to pay off. Women were mad.
We're equal.
We are equal.
You make more money than me, right?
Right.
Then cool. I didn't see none of y'all crying when Mackenzie Bezos got all that goddamn money. I didn't see none of y'all crying. Y'all probably was like, "Go girl, go get all that money. Go get all that Amazon money." And end up dealing with a teacher. He probably ended up taking her bread. A teacher making $45,000 that probably was like knocking her block off because she it's corny because the inconsistencies in the argument are so ridiculous, but they don't want to acknowledge it. They want to pretend it doesn't exist. They're in
delusion.
The same thing will go with putting your hands on the opposite sex. Women want to think, hey, you know what? I can slap you up and do whatever I want to do. But if you respond in any way that caused me harm, although I intended to cause you harm, now it's unfair.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, bro, and it's delusional. It's absolutely delusional. That's why, and it's funny because so let's state this explicitly. We know that all women don't subscribe to these beliefs, right? We're talking about feminists, especially third wave feminist sympathizers. We're talking about modern women. We're talking about the boss bees. We're talking about that type of woman, right? The alpha woman, if you even want to call that. I don't think alpha women exist, but all those women with this mentality, we're talking about these women, right? These are the women that because now we know that all women are doing this, but this is what I was gonna say. So it is delusion, and the problem that we're having now is that I lost my train of thought. I done messed myself up trying to get into it, but
I had a thought in my head anyway.
You remember
we talked about this before. You remember the Freshman Fit had a podcast with Kevin Samuels, right? The Godfather. Kevin Samuels was going back and forth with a white woman.
I remember that
with short hair, right? And so my point is, women, right, even white women, try to find the other victims in the crew so they can go against the white man. The white man is the devil. The white man is the antichrist in our society today, because since they've been known as the most privileged group, white men, now they're known as the most despicable group. So that white woman was trying to get Kevin Samuels, a black man, on her side, try to say, hey, white woman, black man, let's agree to each other and let's say we hate the patriarchy, which is the white man. Mm-hmm. And Kevin Samuels wasn't going for it. Kevin Samuels was like, no. Listen, I understand that there are going to be hurdles in my way, but I'm not going to bitch and complain about it.
Right.
So you're on your own. We ain't here. We ain't together. You're by yourself. I'm by myself. I'm
Right.
not gonna complain about it. I'm gonna jump those hurdles and I'm gonna be better than that white man because I'm gonna perform better.
Right.
What you want to do, white lady, is you just want to cry and complain and just get the equal outcome because you're a woman. But even though
Right.
you don't, even if you don't make the equal effort,
Right.
which is bullshit.
Right. I remember that. And she was also trying to conflate the black civil rights struggle with women's rights issues. And I'm like, no, 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 no. How dare you try to compare your struggle in women's rights with that of the black community struggles and everything they had to fight for? I was like, no, I'm sorry, you don't get. She tried to do that too, and Kevin called that out on that BS. He was like, no, we're not conflating those two issues. Those are two different things, and you can't, we're not finding common ground in that. So she tried, and he was like, no. We're not doing that. But I do remember that, bro. And what I was gonna say is, and I had to write it down so I don't lose my thought again, is that it's delusional.
Right.
And it's creating people who would be allies. Like for women, like, listen, I do believe in equality. I believe in equal opportunity. I don't believe in equal outcomes, right? But I do believe that women should have the same access to opportunities that men do. Absolutely. It's not going to guarantee the outcome, right? But you
Right.
you deserve a chance to apply and do what you got to do. But what I feel like is you're losing male allies now. And for those who don't care, I know you don't care because you hate men, right? But for those who do care and understand that you need men to help you in your cause, because if it wasn't for men defending your right to be a feminist, you could easily get those rights taken away as well. Like women don't like to admit that, but it's like you have rights because men allow you to.
Right.
As much as men allow you to, because if some group of men said we don't want you to have that, we could fight a whole civil war about it and get bloody, and men would have to fight for you to have those rights. With
Men will have to fight for you.
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Men would have to fight for that right because you can't enforce it. You
Can't
can't
do it.
protect yourself from men. You know what I'm saying? So, but they're losing allies, and so I go back to that. Remember when they were like the abortion thing was on the table? They were trying to put it on a chopping block, and it was like a huge thing where they were like trying to overturn Roe versus Wade, and all of a sudden the women were coming out in droves. Oh, well, you should protect this. This is my body, my choice. We should protect reproductive rights. And I'm like, listen, for a long time now, I've been hearing men ain't shit. For the longest time, men have been telling y'all own the family court system, the child support system. Marriage laws are completely detrimental to men right now and favor women. All these things that we've been complaining about and saying, listen, we have to fix these because men are getting divorced, screwed over through divorce, screwed over through custody with their killed children. Some of them can't see them, paying buttloads of child support. So until we address some of these male issues, someone like me who used to be a big advocate for women and their rights, I'm just like, listen, this y'all fight. What am I fighting for this for? After the
Right.
baby is born, I have no rights. I lose all of my power to you once you have that child. I have no rights after that, pretty much. I was like, why am I going to sit here and ride so hard for y'all to have rights access to abortion? I'm not saying they shouldn't. I think it should be a right. I think it should always be an option. I'm always, but as far as them trying to reach out to get allies and men, I'm like, you're not creating allies and men right now. You've vilified us. You've made us the villains. You've made us the beast monsters. You've made it seem like we're like, why would I want to fight by your side for something that, even though I agree is important, what have you done to incentivize me to join your fight?
Right.
What have you done? And they was all up in arms about that. My body, my choice. We should protect this. Da 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 da. Right. I can't fight with you because there are things that we have been concerning that you're not even worried about. You don't even care about men's rights. You don't
Right.
care about family court laws, marriage law changes, any of that. You don't care about any of that
Right.
because it favors you.
Right.
So at that point, men like me are just like, no, I'm gonna let y'all rock out. Like I'm not fighting for y'all no more. Y'all work that out. Y'all work it out.
Yeah.
And it sucks, bro, but that's what kind of happens because it's like, I'm not going to join your fight anymore. I'm going to focus on the men, those who want to improve, those who want to do better, making sure that we understand women and move accordingly. But as far as y'all issues, y'all work that out. Y'all issues with, trans women talking about calling y'all bleeders and birthers and shading natural women and these gay men who talking reckless about natural women. Like, listen, y'all have allowed all of this.
Yeah.
You've allowed this nonsense. This is your fight. I said, gentlemen, don't get in this. Let them sort this out. This is not our fight. They've told us for a while. Don't try to mansplain it. Don't try to. No, this is their fight. Let them rock out, bro.
Let me say this: there's been, I mean, because there's been a overcorrection with like trying to be like overly fair with women.
Right. Overcorrection is the right term. Right.
Right. To where it disadvantages the man in every conceivable way.
Yeah.
So it's like, so basically today it's like whatever the woman says is the true events of things, unless you have some like some like video evidence to say the opposite, and you still might lose. But unless you have some video evidence to say the opposite, then you don't really have a chance. Because if a woman says it and she's all sad and she's emotional, then you lose.
Right.
You lose.
And if the court of public opinion already sees you as guilty, which usually is what happens with Jonathan Majors, with the brick lady, and everybody got riled up behind the brick lady, and they thought that the brother had actually hit her in the face with a brick with no evidence. All they have is just words, and what the women are telling them in these videos, they believe it. And you are guilty, and your character is assassinated just like that. Without any information, no details, they will believe all women. So, bro, the game is rigged right now, man.
The game is definitely rigged. But no matter what, we all have to acknowledge, men and women, if a woman is listening to this that has these hardcore feminist beliefs, think about it. Sit down, think about it, eat your avocado toast, and say, and just think. The question is, do y'all want all the benefits of being this autonomous, free-thinking being with none of the negatives? Some of the negatives would be, hey, you know what? Listen, if we equal, if you hit me, I can hit you back. That's what an equal does.
Right.
If we're not equal, you hit me, and I got to think of a way to figure it out, and just kind of okay, cool. What am I do? She punched me in the face, not my tooth out. I'm bleeding, but I got to figure out a way to not anger her to the point where she'll call the cops on me.
Right. Or how about we go Dutch on these dates? How about we go Dutch? How about we go half?
No.
Yeah, I mean, since we're equal now, right? That's what I'm saying, bro. This is crazy, bro. Especially with the women that we've talked about who have these feminist thoughts, but still want to be treated in a traditional manner. Right. You still want to have a traditional man who's going to cover all your bills and fund your lifestyle, but you're not a traditional woman. How, Sway?
And men suck, right?
And men suck. Men ain't shit. Right.
And we're the reason all bad things happen. But listen, family.
This is crazy.
Listen, family. Like, comment, subscribe. We love the engagement. We moving up. Listen, we're gonna do a live soon, right? You and I gotta talk about that. We're gonna do a live. Yeah. Hopefully, all of our people join us, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Until next time, y'all stay safe. All right.